Okay, tonight is going to be a very, very big episode. So, regardless of Christian's, well, it is pretty. If he really did what he did, then that's sick stuff. But anyway, before that happened, I came across Sonichu, and I think it's cool. Although the artist behind it is in trouble, in jail. So anyway, I've created a folder called Sonichu just because of that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the Zelda digipacks, all the Majora's Mask digipacks, the Mario 64 digipacks, Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. I'll get rid of most of them, just keep what I want in this folder. This has all happened because I downloaded Mario 64 for Windows a few months ago. I don't know where the files are. That's why everything's going into one folder. And it's taken days to find out. Nintendo took them to court basically, and it's all been deleted. The links don't work anymore. Blah blah blah. But there are ways around it, and tonight I'm gonna follow a tutorial. So that's what I'm on about. I've been learning HTML, CSS, Python, JS, Node.js, and React, and oh god, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to use my super skills to get Mario 6 on the N64, Mario 64 with the texture packs running, Majora's Mask texture packs running, Ocarina texture packs running, all in one proper folder. So I'll do it this time, and I'll never have to do it again. What's your favorite? The Wind Waker mod for Ocarina. Yeah, stuff like that. Let's now that I can focus on reading text on screen and following YouTube tutorials, which I've been binging out. I've been doing 12-15 hours a day following Free Code Camp, just binging. I mean, doing stuff that's I'm never going to use. Like I've been doing PHP and Oracle and MySQL because I wanted to learn that a decade ago, 2 decades ago. Couldn't understand the instructions. So the reason that I'm doing stuff that is of no use to me is to actually tick it off on a bucket list, saying, well, I tried to learn this back in 2002. It's all different now. XAMPP, etc., blah blah blah. Possibly running a web server from a Raspberry Pi or one of my unused laptops to upload uncensored versions of these. YouTube are going to copyright strike once I start talking about Iron Maiden or Black Sabbath, and I'm playing the music in the video. I get copyright strike, so that's going to have to go on BitChute or my own website, the uncensored versions of these. So anyway, so yeah, you're doing frickin' CSS, JavaScript. By the way, yeah, the computer packed up for the second time, so I'm doing restore points as I'm downloading like Node.js. What the hell? What do we got here? Visual Studio Code, I've got, oh god, I've moved, oh okay, so I've just had to do a system restore, so they've all gone. So Python, IDLE, Vim, all the coders. I know you only need one, but because I'm following Udemy tutorials, actually it's kind of fun just doing these on the same system that the teacher's using, and the annoying part is one particular course. There was no typing to do. It was just all lecture, all speech, all talk. And so I literally sat through it, and just as soon as you watch it and the button clicks and the button clicks and the button clicks, and you've got your certificate. You could literally just sit there all day and earn these certificates by doing nothing. Anyway, so that's out of the way. All the HTML, CSS is now out of the way. So we're on to Blender. We're building a spaceship, and this is Captain. What's your name? What the hell is your name going to be? I don't know. Tell us me. I don't know. Are you a ventriloquist? Yeah, I'm a ventriloquist. So Captain Fliggy here is going to be flying a spaceship past planets, a la the original or the next generation. Yeah, I mean, you can do on our home computer, you could do the original series, except for the aliens in the plastic rubber suits. Hey, yeah. So all the coding stuff is nearly done. All the coding stuff's nearly done. Okay, seriously. So coding stuff's nearly done. Assembly. I started this. See, I bought this 2 years ago, and I haven't finished it. So I'm finishing that. Now the coding stuff's out of the way. Apart from 100 days of Python, I've passed that one. I've passed that one. That's gonna be when I know Blender more. I'm gonna do Python for Blender. You can create LUTs, LUTS in DaVinci or Houdini or Nuke. I think with Python you can create nodes with Python for DaVinci, and definitely for Blender you can create nodes. So because of the spaceship, I want to copy and paste a lot of stuff from one episode to the next. So that's going to save a lot of time. And the cool stuff is all the buttons on the starship are going to be like Game Boys. So that's the fun part. I'm thinking, now what do I use as props? And of course the answer's right there in front of your face. You know, well there's a 3DS. There's your starship controls. Are you going to do camera angles and stuff? I don't know. I don't know how to do camera angles. So anyway, so once the coding stuff, nice stuff is out of the way. Of course, I bought this one as fun, because you literally make games for 12 hours. This is a 12-hour YouTube video. There is a YouTube 12-hour video by this guy, and then after you've watched the 12-hour video you can sign up for this course. So I bought all these now because obviously our winter benefit is going to go down. So I'm buying all these in advance because it's going to take months to get through them. So yeah, Blender. So once I've done all the coding side, there's Blender. Oh, okay, so I'm stuck on this because the tutors I won't say anything bad about them, but anyway, so once I've done that, we've got Learn Blender, Python scripting for Blender, and so I bought some courses to upskill myself, like learning German, because what I'm really doing is old computer MS-DOS Windows 3.1 software, and some of these manuals are written in German, and I have translated them, but I just think as a hobby, I've always wanted to learn the Rammstein lyrics, and it's something I've never gotten around to, so that's kind of a thing. Knock off the German manuals. I've got so many PlayStations. Just put it there. Everywhere there's a PlayStation. Okay, German, and then of course, for me, the big ones are drawing, learning to draw. How the hell do you do that? I'm gonna, and until I'm good enough, I'm gonna cheat. A lot of cheats. I mean, the challenge is to draw a Game Boy Advance with all the buttons and everything. But until I can draw one, then I've got the real thing to use. Then I want to 3D a Game Boy or a Game Boy Advance into Blender. And that's a process called photogrammetry, where you literally just sit it down and you go round and round and round it with a camera. Take 100 million photos and then 3D it. But it's square. It may be easy to do in Blender, I don't know yet. So drawing, and of course music, the big one. Reading sheet music is my nemesis. It's my Vader. It's my Dark Lord of the Sith. Am I the only one that had the original Return of the Jedi Sith Lord with Darth Sidious on the box, of the Kenner box? Because I don't hear or see anybody talking about Darth Sidious mentioned in the Return of the Jedi. I don't know. And of course the ultimate goal is Unreal. I've downloaded Unreal. It's 20 gig download. It crashed my computer. I may have to upgrade the computer before I can run this. So we're doing lip syncing. I know it sounds funny. Are you a lip syncer? I mean, you've got your puppets, but you want to do lip syncing as well as a skill. Yeah. Lip syncing in Blender is a month away, and then lip syncing in Unreal. The faces are just so amazing that you can't tell if it's real or fake. Anyway, so we've bought all these courses. We're going through them with 100%, 100%, 5%, blah blah. So let's take my Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript skills and see if we can get Mario 64 PC port running, Mario N64 running, find out what's happened to my N64 account, what's happened to it, get the Zelda pack texture packs on it and the Mario texture packs on it, and then we're going to draw Sonichu. Well, let's invent no, but it's your world, so you have to create a computer character of your own. It's not Sonic, it's not Mario, it's not Yoshi, it's not Luigi. It's something completely different. Not Mega Man. You know, well, my character's a little round balls at the moment, so let's just go with that and see what they turn into. So we are now December 25th. My first episode is going to be uploaded. We are in live We are right here on Planet Lave. We're heading for Zaonce, and we're going to sell textiles on Zaonce. And this sounds like a rambling madman. But to launch the ship, we have to write an Octamed music track. And the Octamed music track is the theme song of the episodes. So it's a big tie-in, which is why it's going to take from now to the December 25th to record one episode. Thanks, CNN. So the spaceship, the pilots, the cockpit. Where's Aslan? Ow! Sorry, dude. Aslan with the Nintendo DS microphone. He's the You're the captain, aren't you? Yep. How do you work a camera? Yep. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do this. What are we doing? So, we're going to watch some videos. See you later. Hang on. So, in this folder, I've ended up with Conker's Bad Fur Day has a Project 64. That's the same, exact same file. We've got Conker's Bad Fur Day, we've got Glide 64. I've got a how to use texture packs, so we'll drag that into here. And everything will be where it's supposed to be. So we've got some Conker's high-res texture packs. I'll delete it and install it again. Why not? I know the other one's Banjo-Kazooie. That's the ROM. That's the texture pack. Okay. Alright, we'll reinstall it. That's the ROM. Okay. So we've got Dawn and Dusk, which is another Zelda mod or hack. So we're just going to delete the whole thing. I'll put the there's another Project 64. What the hell is that? My old life was all about Xbox configs. I remember they were extremely difficult to run. Okay, so am I still a member? I don't want to mess with that because that's the one I'm paying for. How do you know you're still paying for it? Crap. Oh, you don't want to reinstall it. What do I do? Oh, now see the shaders and all that are loading. Oh, I'm very confused. It's no longer asking for a registration. For some reason, it's just loading the texture packs. Master Quest. Oh god. Sun Chu. Just the normal. What the hell? Oh dear, oh dear. Majora's Mask. So if I grab M, that one. That's exactly the same as that. Stick Majora's Mask in there. Now it's see, here we go. I'm already supporting him, so I don't know what to do now. Hang on. For some reason, your reoccurring payment was cancelled. You successfully cancelled the following reoccurring payment. I've never done that. Maybe this is when I bought a Commodore 64, but it was a scam because it didn't really exist. So I got my money back from PayPal and I had to change my card. So maybe they've stopped it because I had a new card and with a different number. But I'll reactivate this. So if I load, this gets very confusing. Load that, the texture packs like take half a second to load. I don't know. Let's try another one. So you basically can delete all of those. We're talking, oh, it's only 1 gigabyte. Majora's Mask. Ocarina. I think I've already done that. I have a fear that... Oh, don't ever get rid of that. Check this out. It's a scan of a book that you can't buy for love or money. And it's been taken off archive.org. So this is like the only copy. I mean, I can't read it, but look how cool the pictures are. Oh, crap. There's a PDF file that comes with it that is quite colourful. So Here it is. Don't ever delete this folder. Look at that. Alright, so it doesn't exist on the internet anymore. Do not touch. We'll copy that into Sonichu and delete the others. I am now 99.9% Adobe free. Super Mario 64. I think that's the same thing. Yep, another PDF file that's been, another book that's been deleted because Nintendo. It's been Nintendo. Just say that they copyright strike everything that's anything. What the hell is Mario Molly-Mot? Well, before you delete it, find out. Super Mario Molly-Mot. It's a texture pack. Oh. Okay. That's what happens. You don't use them for months on end and then you don't know what they are. High-res textures, we can get rid of that. Dr. Mario 64. What the hell? And then we've got all this to deal with. Find out what the hell all that is. So, episode I wanted to be the AVGN. So that documentary is going to be all about me growing up inside a cult, inside a denomination, inside a religion. So, as part of the pleasure, fun of my upbringing, let's read some godly doctrine here. The doctrine of death. The sacrifices and surrounding flares that lit the night coloured his brassy golden skin with dark shadows and flickering fire. You do not need a source book of ancient deities to see a modern equivalent. There is such a deity, much like him in a jewel-eyed god, on the cover of the Player's Guide for the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. If you as a Vesperin child are taken to church that night, it was better that you're too small to know the order of a service. It was better that you did not understand the real purpose of the intensely loud music sung frantically around you. Well, here we go. This is it. Let's just sum it up with this. Modern witchcraft, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and Santa Claus. The worship of the goddess mother is certainly not merely an awful but ancient memory. It survives and thrives today in two key forms: open witchcraft and the hidden spiritual power base of the religious but anti-Christian section of the feminist movement. Many Christians are not aware of the technical difference between witchcraft and Satanism. Modern witchcraft is the demonic granddaughter of Babylon's Semiramis. Well, that's spelt wrong. Okay, alright, you're going to find spelling mistakes now that you're out. The 20th century evolutionary product of the worship of the Divine Mother. Witches do not believe the Christian devil, Satan, even exists, much less than worship him. But inside, he doesn't believe what he's saying, because all witches are Satanists and all Satanists are Wiccans. According to this holy book, the return of the old religion has found that the divine nature can draw its self-image from an endless cycle of the seasons. Pagans with their self-conscious naivete have re-entered the enchanted forest in which trees and animals are brothers and sisters. This return to the enchanted forest includes a return to magic, mighty cosmological forces that magicians must control and subdue, or to which they fall victim. Greatest book ever written. Absolute Christian doctrine here. 100% solid Christian doctrine. So, there was a war between God and Satan, Yahweh and the devil, Beelzebub, and I've lost my glasses. It always happens. And of course, it's very important for you to know there's a secret that I have to tell you. The Christ is now here. 1988 was the end of the world. That was it. There was to be no more. Benjamin Creme said that Lord Maitreya was here to take over the world as the new Messiah. And he did arrive in 1988, but he didn't hang around for very long. So the world was ending. Didn't need to do anything, didn't need to think, didn't use my brain, didn't need to use my brain, didn't need to eat properly, anything. I didn't need to do anything because there was no point. Everything was completely pointless. And so Christ forgot to return in 2000. I don't think Jesus ever read any of Barry's books. So, the hell's that? It's all that satanic stuff. we used to walk along K Road and lay hands on the nightclubs, cursing them in Jesus' name. Anyway, even after all these warnings about, Christians being rounded up and thrown in prison for preaching the gospel, and as we know, we already have. Don't. You freak me out, stupid light. Let's have a lamp that causes seizures. Yeah, okay. Of course, Lord Brian is, he's a martyr with the true gospel of Jesus Christ. So, yeah, anyway, Christ forgot to return in 2000. So, I elect a war between angels and demons, heaven and hell, good and evil, the devil and Satan, and Lucifer, and Baal, Halal, Halal. I'm going to make this episode every day till I get it right. Good, that's why I got 7 YouTube channels. Recording. So, to escape from heaven and hell, angels and demons, Yahweh versus Lucifer. Lucifer, now Satan. I've forgotten the rest of the song. Sorry. I joined another war. the best way to escape a war was to join another war. And I found one. And I didn't understand at the time why the memory stick isn't showing up. I didn't understand at the time that I was doing that, if that's what I was doing. So, but I left the world of angels versus demons, Satan versus God. I'm getting confused which one's which. So then I found another war, the war between the angry video game nerd and, of course, everybody's favourite, Chris Bores. So I joined the war between the angry video game nerd versus Chris Bores. And that war lasted a couple of years. I now understand that joining the Chris Wars AVGN wars helped me mentally in my brain to distance myself from the Antichrist 666, Mark of the Beast, Armageddon, China and Russia versus Israel, Second Coming, Armageddon. I've said all that. To mentally leave that behind, I now understand that I joined the Chris Wars versus AVGN war for that exact reason. And then we've got another one, the AVGN versus Nostalgia Critic, which was a completely made up war. And somehow I found that mentally useful to be part of it. So I've got a memory stick full of long ago deleted videos of the angry video game nerd versus Chris Bores war. Slow down, my brain is still adjusting to going from being completely brainwashed to making my own decisions. So it's sometimes just my brain just stops. So that's what that episode is about. From AVGN versus Iraq Gamer, I got into a war that I knew in my mind mentally didn't exist, but I wanted to do that to get out of the Antichrist, Satan, God, Armageddon, blah blah blah. And so I went even deeper than the Chris Wars versus AVGN war. And do we have the folder open? Yes, we do. Wow. This is talking about oh, you've only got stills. Where's the covers? I've gotten as far as ripping the front covers off, but I haven't thrown the books away physically. So that's the next step. I can't do that mentally just yet, and I don't know why, but I can't. Right, so I've come from garbage like this, the pagan invasion, Halloween, trick or treat. Did you know that they really do sacrifice children to the devil on Halloween? That's the only purpose of Halloween. And of course, you were glad to know, of course, you'd be glad to know that I don't have the video here. Really? Really? Okay. Well, anyway, there it is. There it is. The greatest hoax of all. Out of all the hoaxes, the greatest hoax of all is. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Evolution, the hoax of the century. Now, the reason scientists exist is to create fiberglass or plaster of Paris dinosaur bones, bury them in the ground, and dig them up to spread the hoax of evolution. That's the only reason that scientists exist. So I came out of that world, out of this world here, and I joined the AVGN versus CRISPR's war. Then that war stopped, so I needed another one, and I found one that didn't exist, but it's just a fascinating subject to I was obsessed with the X-Files. This is a time in my life when I thought that the X-Files was not a television show, that it was all real, that everything on the X-Files was happening in reality. X-Files became my reality. So I went from Winky Pratney being my reality to Scully and Mulder, Scolder and Mully, Scolder and Mully being my reality. In fact, again, I guess I still needed another date for the end of the world, and Scully and Mulder were going to give me this new date that I was looking for, and that never happened. So I found this non-existent war between humans and the Pleiadians. Morinae and Visayas are on our side. There's a council of planets that we're not part of that decide which planets can get invaded by UFOs and which planets can't. According to Phil Snyder here, there's an underground base, military base in the States where the Greys are. It's confusing because the X-Files was a TV show, but there were also speakers that went around describing their encounters with these alien beings, the reptilians, shapeshifters, David Icke, Tex Mars, Alex Jones, David Wilcock. You get in the chair, you're transported to the moon like that. There's no such thing. You don't need space travel. You get in this chair and you're on the moon. You get in the chair, you're on Mars. There are 25,000 people living on Mars right now. There's 100,000 people living on the dark side of the moon. All this stuff. So it was fun, but I knew it was never real. But because of a few Christian books I had, I was always on the ready to say, now, how do we accept the Bible plus Visayas and Morinae, time travel, the Philadelphia experiment, Montauk Project, the Bob Larson, Stan Deyo, I finally remember his name, Stan Deyo, a Christian man of God, lives in Australia, reverse engineered a UFO and gave us a lot of the technology that we have today from this crashed UFO. And this is a Christian talking about that being true as much as Phil Snyder. Oh God, got to get the names ready for the episode. Al Balick, Ralph Anagram, Alex Collier, David Wilcock, Barry King, all the people that spoke about their encounters with aliens and traveling to other planets and back in time. And one guy took a pistol back to Christ's crucifixion. And he never finished the story. I mean, these people are going around and getting an audience to listen to their stories. And in some cases, David Icke, they pay money to go and see these speakers, as if the same way we would pay money to go see a Christian preacher, such as Barry Smith, they would go to David Icke, as though David Icke was the new preacher. Once Barry Smith passed away in 2000, the whole world of Antichrist 666, Mark of the Beast, reptilians, turtles, frogs had nowhere to go. That whole concept just seemed to die away. It's come back in a much, much bigger way now. There's whole websites devoted to this very subject, and I've subscribed to one of the sites. It's pretty disgusting. Trannies are going to bring about the end of the world, and the gays are bringing about the end of the world, and blah blah blah. So, as we pay to see speakers, they pay to see these people. Not in Phil's case, I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe they donate money. I don't know. So, I went from Winky Prattney's War to Phil Snyder's, to the Angry Video Game Nerds War, to Phil Snyder's War. Then, I know this is supposed to be about being installing Mario on the Windows. I don't. Well, you do. I do know. This is a totally disconnected, rambling version. Well, this is going to be split up into 3 videos anyway. Maybe 5. So, I've been trying to learn JavaScript since 2000. And I couldn't read this book back then. And I've lost the CD. So, as a joke, as a side project, not spending too much time on it, let's just try and find out what these are 20 years later. There's an ultra dev version of Dreamweaver, Hotwax Pro, NetObjects Fusion MX, there'll be a Macromedia, a CSE HTML validator, JavaScript JavaScript Scrambler, Primal Script, Cold Fusion, Hotwax Pro, NetObjects. Let's see if we can do an episode on what these were. Netscape 6 is coming out. Whoa! What these were and what they did. And I know I've got the CD somewhere. Adobe Go Live 5.0. Buy it today. Ace HTML free. So, yeah, anyway. You're rambling. Here it is. The last day of the war was Thursday the 2nd of April. What year? This would have been 2000. No, it was March 98. The New World Order, the Mark of the Beast. That was the last day of the war. Because I never bought another book Another VHS, another cassette tape. Thursday, the April the 2nd. So, I went from this being my reality to AVGN versus Chris Bors being my reality, to Phil Snyder being my reality, and I still needed something else. And after that something else, I went down one last rabbit hole, and now it's all over, and here I am sitting here programming, writing web pages, JavaScript, blah, living my dream. So, from Phil Snyder, I needed another war. I still needed another war. I didn't know why. I've only just figured this out recently. I didn't know why, but I still needed another war. So I found the war of all wars, the war between the King James Bible and the Satanic Bibles, the NIV, NASB, New King James, the NAB, RSV, Good News, Living Phillips translation, and you can put every single Bible that came out after this book was written back in 1994 and add it to the list of satanic books that are not equivalent of the King James Bible. The King James Bible is the only Bible that one should read. It's the only authorized Bible, and Jesus spoke in King James English. Never forget, Jesus Christ spoke King James English. Now, I want to help these people. I really want to help these people. I want to bring up the proposal to these people that are in the King James Version only movement, and let's teach them in their everyday words to speak God's language. Let's get them to speaketh the King James language in their everyday conversations. Can I buy a bottle of milketh, please? Can I get some petrol? No. King James never had a car. King James never had a car. So we need to get these King James only people. We need to buy them horses and carts, people. No, I'm getting serious here. We want to teach them how to correctly speak the King James language and how to utilize King James's modes of transport and their way of fashion and the power that they had over the common people. We should introduce these people to what it's really like if you truly want to be a King James Bible onlyist. Then speak his language, speak the King's language, wear the King's clothes, and ride the King's chariots. Amen. So I went to one last war after that, and then it's all over. I went from Orange Light, the most ridiculous conspiracy theory of them all, and I went into a conspiracy theory that's impossible. I went into a conspiracy theory that is actually impossible, and I'm glad I did. That was the best decision that I ever made in my life, was the fight between globe earthers and flat earthers. So us globe earthers are inside some sort of gigantic cult. All the rockets are fake, the planets are fake, the sun is fake, the moon is fake, the moon landing's fake, satellites are fake. There's a dome, Genesis 1. There's a dome around the Earth's flat surface. So, rockets can't go through the dome, people. So, the Earth is flat. End of conversation. And I'm so glad I watched. Okay, so with Phil Snyder and Al Balick, Ralph Anmer Graham, Alex Collier, David Icke, David Wilcock, Phil Snyder, I watched the war. I wasn't involved with this war. I was still in a war of my own. Of can you be gay and can you be a Christian? That war is never going to end. As a culture, as a cultural issue, even though the public mentality are accepting it. You'll never stop these people from trying to cure the gay. The very worst thing in my life happened when a pastor tried to cure the gay. That's something that's fucked up my life forever. And that's in an episode that's uncensored. I don't know, whatever. So Flat Earth, sorry. I just bleeped the mic there. So Flat Earth, I got into that, and I'm so glad I got into that, because not only were they debunking the Flat Earth facts, they took on something that was slightly personal to me. Like, two things. Two huge, gigantic worldwide cults that I was coming out of. Number one was the end of the world, the second coming, the tribulation, the 3 years of peace, pre-tribbers, post-tribbers, Armageddon, 666, Mark of the Beast. That was one. The other one was the fact that evolution is a hoax. That's the second one. That scientists create bones and bury them and then dig them up to promote this religious idea of dinosaurs. So you'll find in the fundamentalist world, you'll find Christians that don't believe in dinosaurs and Christians that do believe in dinosaurs. So I was on the fence. I didn't decide which way I wanted to go, because obviously we have to deal with these huge hurdles of these dinosaurs being on Noah's Ark. 60,000 feet for tall dinosaurs. Yeah, so I was battling with stuff like that. Most of that time in my life, I was using my brain, mentality, all this power that I have to do the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, SQL, XAMPP, servers, PHP. I was using that to, number one, what if aliens are real? How does it fit in with Christianity? What if Phil Snyder was attacked by a reptilian? How do we as Christians reconcile that with the gospel message? That was one thing that my mind was completely 110% nothing over, day and night and day and night. So I didn't have much time to think about anything else. And the second one was, why are there so many people trying to say that the world is older than 6,000 years? There wasn't a question that they're wrong, because we know that they're wrong. The Earth is 6,000 years old. Bishop James Ussher, 4004 BC, on April the 1st or whatever. I'll use that as a date. It's clearly 6,000 years old. So watching the flat earth debate against these weirdos known as globe earthers that believe in space travel and planets and moons and stars and suns and things. I learnt. I went from I went from knowing the facts of everything in the world from the point of view of these books to really learning about the galaxies, the solar system, the way the planets, you know what, around the sun. I learnt so much about science from these people that I had to unlearn the science I learnt from these books and relearn real science. So my brain, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, blah, 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 was powered towards learning actual science. Galileo, Stephen Hawking, all the Satanists, Richard Dawkins, fucking Isaac Asimov, scientists, Stephen Hawking. Well, let's just leave it at Stephen, because they're saying now that, no, I'm not going to say it. Don't say it. They're disgusting. So, every now and then, these guys who were debunking the flat earthers would take on young earth creationists. And of course, Mr. Prisoner himself, Kent Hovind, became very popular through these people trying to debunk young earth. So there's in Timaru in 2000, the elder of the church was trying to cure me of the gay, and in the process of curing me of the gay, he also gave me some videotapes by Kent Hovind. So that's very entwined into, if you believe in evolution, you can be gay. If you believe in God, then you can't be gay. It's as simple as that. It's black and white. So Kent Hovind was a huge influence, almost as big as Ken Ham, but even back then Kent Hovind was a bit dodgy. He was in prison for a decade for tax evasion. So I believed his teaching, but I didn't like him as a person. So they would take on these young earth creationists, especially the one that's now down in South America, trying to find a living pterodactyl. I hope he finds one, folks. I hope he finds one. That would be brilliant. We're supposed to be installing Mario. I'll do 2 episodes. I needed to get this out, obviously. And I would yell at these Vicerono and Pelagia and Sir Sick and Team Skeptic, Dan, Simon Dan, Conspiracy Cats, anyone that tried to take on the young earth creation belief system. They were all unwatchable videos. I wouldn't watch them. It's okay to knock the flat earth, but you can't knock the young earth creationists' facts that the world is only 6,000 years old. Yeah, I'm going to get back to installing Mario, and I'll make this a 2-part episode.